Howdy, this is a quick video to talk about the ePortfolio that we want to do as our final project in GIS programming. So we've accomplished quite a bit, and what we want to do is try to share that and illustrate that to others. And the concept is to build an ePortfolio. So what is the ePortfolio? We'll jump down near the bottom. It's basically a digital portfolio of the work that you've accomplished working in this course. But instead of just a normal portfolio, and I've got some good examples here from Auburn showing several people's ePortfolios that they have put together, some really nice examples that you might look at and get some good ideas from. We want to put ours in the frame of a problem statement and then illustrate what we are doing. So, or what we have done. What we want to try to work on is, let's say that we have an industry problem, and there could be lots of industry problems, but we're going to build ours in one which is called the master well issue. And this is where there's a lot of wells owned by companies and a lot of different databases that could be out there. Maybe it's in CAD, ArcGIS, Decision-Based, Geographics, Petrel, all these other databases have where they think the well is, but sometimes they're wrong. Here I'm going to jump out to the Texas Railroad Commission and look at their GIS on wells, and we'll zoom up here into the Panhandle, go up here to Roberts County, for example, and when we look in here and we start seeing all these wells, if we look at where they are actually at, sometimes they're a little bit off to where they are at should be. You can see that that one looks like it's off from that scenario. Some look like they're right on where they need to be in terms of the well, but then we'll find others that are way off from their location, and that's because probably they were put in incorrectly. This one was probably right here, so you can see it was way off. Or they are very old. We didn't have GPS back then, so what we gave was the distance off of the properties, so the location that they pulled was incorrect. So all these databases sometimes have the wrong location. Let's say that we need to try to solve that problem. We could actually design a software tool that does that. And in our scenario, we would want to import all the data in the well. We'd want to inverse between all the different well locations. We'd want to determine if they accidentally put NAD 83 latitude and longitude versus NAD 27. And then we would want to build a tool to allow users to do that. So we're going to build a wireframe, which is what we talked about at the beginning of the semester, of trying to solve that problem, to illustrate that we can solve that problem and give examples from our labs that we did. So to begin with, we'll build a GitHub location, and then in our GitHub location we'll build something similar to what we have right here so we can look at it. It's going to be mainly text in its aspect of things, but it will kind of have a workflow where we'll look at where will the software be done, and we can discuss that and give an example, a link out to our lab 1. You'll say you need to load several sets of data that represents the well location. Okay, so we did that in lab 3, and we'll link out to lab 3. And so here we're portfolioing our work based on this problem. We'll inverse coordinates to different well locations to see if they agree. We did that in lab 2. We did some calculator calculations, and we built our own calculator. We'll write the master well geodatabase. We did that in lab 4. We'll build buffers to determine if the wells were put in NAD 83 or 27. We wrote a program that did that in lab 5. We'll build a graduated color so you can see wells, the confidence of how well we think the location that it are, and we did that in lab 6. And we'll use aerial images to check the master well database, and we did something like that in lab 7. So here you can see our labs, although not very industry driven, very technical in what they did, actually solved the solution to us. But we should also put into there to share how we would plan to do it. What would be the return on investment? What would be the interface with users? What would be the gathering requirements? This portion of what we do to this portion we do shows how we have mastered programming to solve a GIS solution. So what will you turn in? Turn in your GitHub ePortfolio, showing again what you've done from that scenario. And for extra credit, for those who are needing some extra credit, we have included in there that you could use Microsoft Sway, which is a free software. You can get it from Office 365 for students, and it's a new way to work, and I'll let you explore that. Now, when designing and building software, the wireframe, the little markup that we have through how we do it could help us. So you might draw yourself a small wireframe to say, how things will be connected and what they will do. Give us some graphics, import some of your images. Again, want to make it look a lot like what our training material looked like here in GitHub, so it looks very similar. When I was the market director of the machine automation division at Leica Geosystems, I had numerous software teams that helped us to develop software. We would whiteboard ideas, go back, rapid prototype, and try to show what we had. But we did everything in a workflow type format where each person was maybe given one of the tasks that you need to do here. Not everyone did. One person did all these tasks. You might have different persons doing those, but any one of the persons on my team could do any one of these tasks, and we want to illustrate that with the work that you do from that scenario. How important is this to have this ePortfolio? I went out and Googled some jobs just in Midland, Texas, looking at some stuff for GIS in Midland, and I saw several different jobs that are currently out there. And if we look at their requirements, here's one that's out there, and they have some requirements and skills that they need. All right, so a lot of it is a very simple editing, managing the aspect of things, but then we get into areas where they want a lot of our software skills of Python, JavaScript, C#, model builder, utilizing these tools because they find that the tools fall short and we need to build some of our own. So we see some of those roles that require some of the stuff that we did and learned throughout this semester. Alright, good luck with your ePortfolio. I look forward to looking at them. Contact me anytime if you have any questions. Thanks.